Hello, I am back today. Nice to see you all again. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be looking on functions of the family. We're going to be looking at socialization, procreation, emotional function, and the economic function of the family. So let's get a little bit background on the functions of the family. What do I mean by the term function? It's not something that you go to like a ceremony, no. But if the function is what the family is there to do, what purpose does it serve? That is what function of the family mean. And the family is the first institution that enrolls us after birth, and as such, it is important and cannot be overemphasized. So, in order for society to function smoothly, the family needs to perform these basic functions. Therefore, the family is foundation, and there are certain things that the family needs to do. There's a certain things that the family serve purpose for, and that is what we mean by functions of the family. The main functions that we are going to be looking on are these four categories: socialization, procreation, satisfaction of emotional needs, and satisfaction of economic needs. And we're going to look on them more in depth. Socialization. As you can see in this photo, there's a father with the child doing their homework. And do you think that is socializing? Of course. So socializing, we're doing social studies. So we all know that social studies and socializing is all about interacting with people. So the function, one of the main function and important function of the family is socialization. And socialization, in fact, means where members are taught values and accepted ways of behavior. They are taught their roles, their responsibilities, and basic skills for survival in the world. So basically, this means it's where you're taught how to behave, it's where you're taught your values, right from wrong, and so on. So it's where you're taught the ABCs, you're taught that stealing is wrong and all of this. And of course, yes, a father helping a child with their homework is showing the value and the importance of education. So socializing is one of the most important most important function of the family, because it is what makes you who you are. It is your values, behaviors, and it shapes society. The next function is procreation. And if you don't know this big word, I think it is new for a lot of you. If you do science, you might come across this term. But procreation simply means reproduction or having children. The family reproduces and have children. And this is carried out to carry out continue the family name and the human race on a whole. So all families have to procreate or reproduce or have new members, and if this doesn't happen, the family will basically end. So we all know that socialization, then reproduction or procreation. Let's now look on the next function of the family. Another function is satisfaction of emotional and psychological needs. You don't have to put psychological if you cannot remember. You can say satisfaction of emotional needs. All right. And this is where the family attends to its members' emotional and psychological needs by making them feel loved, wanted, and protected. They talk to them about their feelings. It's where somewhere where you go and tell one of your family member what is happening to you, probably at school, about something, some conflict that you're having with someone, some stage that you're going through, where you are all teenagers and so on. So you'll be definitely be going some through some different stages as you move on into adulthood, because you were once children, now you're transforming into teenagers, adolescents, and now a lot of us will be transitioning into adulthood. So these stages in life comes with emotional and psychological needs, and the family needs to make people feel loved, wanted, and protected. So satisfaction of emotional and psychological needs. Then another satisfaction of economic needs. And some people might put providing the basic needs, and that is okay. So satisfaction of economic needs basically mean that the family is responsible for satisfying and supplying food, clothing, shelter, and health care, as well as education too. It is usually the adults who work, pool their resources together, and ensure the family's needs are met. So satisfying economic needs or providing the basic needs for the family. Since we have outlined the four major functions of the family, I want you to note that not all families carry out these functions, and not all families carry out these functions effectively. So you might be sitting there wondering about probably the emotional part. Not all families carry out this part of this function. However, I should believe that all families will reproduce and socialize, whether it be good or bad, in a bad way, and satisfy economic needs. But not all families will probably carry out the emotional needs. However, it is still a function of the family. So that's basically it for the functions of the family. Let's get what you learned into practice now, because this is the most important part. How CXC will ask you these questions. The first question that we'll be looking on is, one of the major functions of the family is procreation, and we can all agree. Define the term procreation. That should be simple for you, because we all know that another word for procreation is, of course, reproduction. Let me go back right on it. And procreation is where the family reproduces and have children. That's basically it. So what you could write, remember you need to write in a sentence. Explain yourself. So the term procreation may be defined as reproducing and having children. This is adding new members to the family. It's 2 marks. Identify 2 other functions of the family. That should be quite simple too, but let's go back and look to remind ourselves. So the 4 main functions performed by families. Remember, I'm stressing the main because you have other function like providing education and so on, but these are the major ones. All right. So the 4 major functions of the family: socialization, procreation or reproduction. So they say other than procreation, so we cannot say that again. Satisfaction of emotional needs and satisfaction of economic needs. So if you say any other of the 3 other than procreation, you will be correct. So your statement would be stated as such. 2 other functions of the family are, and then you will list your function. C is saying, describe 2 ways in which parents can prepare children for financial responsibilities. And here is where you're going to put yourself in the shoe, put yourself into reality, put yourself into a parent's shoe, or think about your own family, what do you see your parents doing that is helping you prepare for financial responsibility? Finance mean knowing how to spend money and save money and use money. It has everything to do with money. So how do your parents prepare you for these responsibilities? Think about it. So one of my way, so it says describe. So we cannot be writing two words. You should bear in mind what the question is asking. If I say describe your social studies teacher, you're not just going to say Mrs. Beeson. You have to say, okay, she's fair in complexion, has short hair. So you need to describe. I always tell my students, say it as if you're talking to a younger brother or a younger sister, somebody who doesn't know what you're talking about. So that is how clear you're going to do it. So one of the ways in which parents can prepare their children for financial responsibilities is involve them in shopping. You can involve them in shopping. So you can see a lot of time your parents send you to the shop, right? Yes, true. But you take it as a task or so on. But in fact, a lot of parents use this to prepare children for financial responsibilities, or they take you to the supermarket. So when you go to the supermarket, they're involving you in shopping, where you learn how much money for something, the cost for things, and you will now be able to do your own little budget sometimes and know how much change to get back and things like that. So in the parents can prepare children for financial responsibilities by involving them in shopping and bringing them while running errands such as paying utility bills, so that they can have an idea of how these financial responsibilities go. All right. Another way, I think, is to encourage them to keep a piggy bank. Yes, that can work. So parents can encourage their children to save and have a piggy bank. And whenever that piggy bank is full, they can encourage them to open a saving account and they deposit money in it, probably every month, every 2 months, and so on. You have other ways like creating family goals or creating goals for children. Find something that they want and have them save towards it or work towards having it. Parents can also give children what is called an allowance. So it's basically like your lunch money, or giving them money at the beginning of the week, and see how they spend it. Let them do a little budget for themselves. So these are many ways, and just think about what your parents do to you. A lot of time your parents give you the money for the week for school, and that is basically preparing you for financial responsibility, because if you go ahead and use the money for your fare to buy lunch, in reality, if you use the money to buy gas, to pay for groceries, then there isn't any money left to buy the gas. So that is basically preparing children for financial responsibilities. And give your examples. You can never go wrong with examples. All right, so D is saying self-reliance is important to combating poverty. You see a term there, self-reliance. So self is you, rely is when you can depend on. So it's basically saying depending on yourself is important to combating poverty, and combat means fighting. So when you on depend on yourself, it's important to fight poverty. So just giving full details, 3 measures that may be used by poor families to become self-reliant. And they basically gave you a statement in case you don't know what self-reliance is. So, self-reliance is basically relying on the people around you in a family. So, that statement is just saying, what can the family do to fight poverty and depend on themselves? Okay? Alright, so let us look on some of these. Think about it. What can poor families do to help fight poverty? One of my ways is to start up a small business and sell something. And they can have family members work with them or work for them. That is being self-reliant because you're not looking to pay somebody else outside of the family to work for you. You're providing an income for our next family member while you can be cutting back on expenditure, because a lot of people you might have to pay them for overtime and so on, and nobody does it better than you. Nobody takes care of things better than you and your own family. So one way is by starting up a small business to sell something, or starting up a small shop, corner shop, and have family members working with you. Another way is engaging in agriculture, and agriculture never goes wrong. Agriculture and farm crops are rare animals which can be used, which is needed by the family. You can farm this crop for the family itself, so you can have them in your home to eat, or you can do it large scale where you can sell and where you have a surplus and you can sell what is left over. Another way is ensuring that children in the family are educated so that they can be able to be productive. So making sure that children pursue higher education aside from just going to primary school and high school, and when they pursue a higher education, get make use of scholarships and grants and so on, pursuing higher education, they will be able to score a job or start up a business of their own. Another way I think is to help other family members. Family members can help themselves. So they can help a family member who might have a child. So your auntie, for example, might have a child and she is working. She works every day, and on Saturdays she have to bring that child now to a daycare. Instead of taking that child to a daycare, they can bring it to the child to a grandmother, or even an another adult in the family, so that they can cut back on the cost to pay for the daycare. So they can rely on each other. Just the same, if a family member have some expenses like back to school or some medical expenses, they can help them out. All right? Okay. And one of my best remedies to almost every question in social studies, I think you cannot go wrong with this one. Um, I think it can be used for everyone, is education. I always tell people, my students, education is the key. So when you educate yourselves about measures to help combat something, then you will be know how to prevent it. You will look out for the warning signs to see if you're going downhill, and you will know what measures to take in order to prevent the event. So education. Alright? Alright. And explain fully why each measures you identify will be successful. Do you realize that that is also 6 marks as well as the one in 1D? Therefore, you cannot just write, all of my measures will be successful because. No. You need to go ahead now and say, having the family start up a business will work because starting up a business, they will be able to have an income and provide job for family members so that they are self-reliant. So you need to explain why each of the measure and not everything together, because you will not score your 6 marks. So explanation of each is just 2 marks. So you need to explain why they will work. Understand? Alright, let's now move on to multiple choice questions. Items 3 to 5 refer to the following family functions. So we're reinforcing the functions of the family: economic, emotional, procreation, and socialization. Match the functions from the list above with the descriptions in items 3 to 5. You may choose any word from the list above more than once or none at all. So you can either put the term more than once, or you cannot or you don't have to use all of the terms listed A, B, C in A, B, C, and D. So the first statement is that the family produces children and maintains the population. So let's look on the function that speaks about producing children. I know that you know, but I need to go back for some persons. So socialization, that's talking about behavior. We have procreation, which is talking about the family reproducing and having children, and that looks just like it. So it's there. And children and produces gave the answer away. So you need to put C right there at that statement, procreation. The family provides security and love for growing children. Again, let me look on the functions. So socialization, not it. Procreation, remember we can use them twice. Let's look if it's procreation. No. Satisfaction of psychological needs. And this is the function that speaks about love and feeling protected and wanted. Therefore, emotional would be it. The family provides food, clothing, and shelter for the children, and we all know that food, clothing, and shelter is the basic functions. And when we were looking on the the basic needs, when we were looking on the basic needs, we were looking on the function of satisfaction of economic needs. Therefore, it is economic. Next set of questions. Which of the following are aspects of the socialization process? Let's look back on socializing. We all know socialization is interacting with people, communicating, and all. So the family is an agent of socializing, and it is the most important agent. So members are taught values, accepted ways of behavior, and so on, responsibilities, and so on. So let's look on which of these processes people are interacting and taught values and so on. Reproduction is a function by itself, so that is a no-no. Religious teaching, yes. So you see teaching there where people are taught about a supreme being, about God, and so on. So that could be a socializing process. That's when you go to church. You're taught right from wrong, you're taught about values in society and so on. And if you don't go to church, if you see devotions in school, it's teaching you values and accepted ways of behavior, right from wrong and so on. So religious teaching is an aspect of socializing. Then recreational activity. Recreational activity. It's activity that you do for fun and in your spare time and so on. So it is definitely socializing. So we have 1 and 3 only. So the answer is C. Which of the following family functions are parents performing when they insist that children show respect for property of others? So, when you're showing respect for the property of others, are you socializing? Is it emotional? Is it biological or economic? So it has to do with ways of behavior. Showing respect is a value, of course. So the main function that speaks about values and respect and so on is definitely socializing. Thank you for watching today. Please tune in tomorrow again, where we will be looking on more topics relating to the family. Please comment in the comment section. Tell me what I can do to make your experience better, what I need to explain more, or if you have any questions, you want more CSEC study questions, I can provide them for you. Thank you and bye. See you tomorrow.